Yeah, I know what y'all came here for. All right, so earlier this month, I made a video about how RFK is missing the bigger picture with these proposed, I'm going to ban this, that, and the third artificial ingredients, scary food dyes, seed oils, ooh. And how I don't really think that's, the answer that we're looking for. Um, the answer is obviously going to be much more complex than any one solution, but that is missing the forest for the trees, in my opinion. My man Herbie on the last video even mentioned he lives in the United Kingdom, and where some of these things are banned, and there's still obesity over there. That's pretty common. So that's it's not going to do much, and it's probably going to make food more expensive if I were guessing. I'm no expert there, so that's me kind of getting out of my wheelhouse, getting out of bounds. Um, However, albeit for me to put up some criticisms without offering something of a solution. Again, there's no single solution here, so this isn't the be all end all. But I think there's two things I would look at, and I'm not a huge fan of government getting involved in a lot of things. But the first one, I think they could and should. They are involved in it. They're just there's more nefarious things going on behind closed doors, as is politics. And the second thing, I'm kind of I think it would be a good idea, but I don't know how well it would be implemented because government. Anyway, so first and foremost, and this is in America, so the rest of the world, this probably doesn't apply to y'all. I don't know how y'all's food labels works. Um, and I've made a video like this before, but it's worth reiterating. This olive oil spray, 0 calories, calorie free, all zeros. I don't know how well my camera is going to pick it up, but you can see the 0 calories. 7 ounces. All right. So if you're unaware, in the United States of America, if a food product, if the serving size has 5 calories or less, it is allowed to be advertised as 0 calories. All right. There are, and again, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but 665 servings in this. That should make your spidey senses go off. Spoiler alert, if nobody's ever used this before, you're not going to use this 665 times. Not even close. But that's what they do. They say, okay, 5 calories or less per serving is 0 calories. We're allowed to advertise it as such. Let's just make it a fuck ton of servings. So there's 665 servings in here, which is a quarter second of a spray, is what it's listed on here. So they're allowed to be deceptive on the food labels. One thing they have to do though is they have to list their ingredients. And again, there's no way my camera is going to pick it up. But they have to list their ingredients, and they have to list them in order of what's most prominent to what's least prominent, in quantity. So the main ingredients in this, and there's only three. All right, the main ingredient is extra virgin olive oil. There's 250 calories in an ounce of olive oil. All right. The second ingredient, soy lecithin. That's a derivative of soybean oil. Um, it's kind of murky. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody can correct me here. Best I could tell, the soybean oil calories is right on par with olive oil calories. And the lecithin being a derivative of it, it is made predominantly of soybean oil, to my understanding. So there's calories there too. That's not a calorie-free ingredient. And then last is dimethyl silicone, and that's for the anti-foaming properties in here. And that it doesn't have calories. But your two main ingredients have calories. And olive oil is the most prominent ingredient in here. There is at least over a third of an ounce of olive oil per ounce of what's in here. Probably more. probably like half an ounce to 3/4 of an ounce. Then the soy lecithin, again, which also contains calories, there's probably, I don't know, between a tenth and a quarter of an ounce or something like that. And then I would imagine the dimethyl silicone, it's a very small amount. So within this canister of 0 calorie cooking spray, there is likely 1,500 calories in this canister. All right. There's a chance there could be less. There's no less than like 700 calories, and that's on the very bottom end of what could be possible. And I highly doubt it's that. It's probably closer to 1,500 calories or more. But since it's 5 calories per serving, because there's 665 whole fucking servings in here, again, you are not going to use this 665 times, I promise you. Like, that's a serving. You're going to use a lot more than that when you're using it. And even then, that's still probably 3 calories or so. It's not calorie free. The 3 calories would be negligible, of course. But if you're using this, and if you use it like me, and don't get me wrong, it can still be a decent way to, if you're using oil in a recipe or like with an air fryer, it's right there behind me, it can be a way to reduce the amount of oil you're using. So it's good for using less calories than you would. But to call it calorie free is wild when there is probably 1,500 plus calories in here. And I chop up potatoes and I spray them down good, with it, and shake them around and give it a little bit more spray. Again, much less oil than if I were frying it conventionally in a skillet or something. But it's not calorie free, not even close. So that's something. And I want to contrast that with this Kroger brand Carb Master. It's kind of like a Greek yogurt. I think they call it low-fat cultured dairy blend. They don't exactly call it Greek yogurt, but that's what it's very similar to. This one is the sugar-free variant. And I don't know, again, it said, yeah, it'll pick it up. Not a low-calorie food. All right. So this is 0 calories, but there's probably 1,500 calories in this 7 ounces of olive oil spray. This is not a low-calorie food, but there is 32 ounces, 2 pounds, 2 pounds. This is 7 ounces. This is 32 ounces. 2 pounds in here. 5 servings at 70 calories per serving. 350 calories for 2 pounds of food. 9 grams of protein per serving. So you're talking about 45 grams of protein, 350 calories. Pretty low on the fats, pretty low on the carbohydrates. High protein food. Great for cutting weight, in my opinion. Great for feeling full. There's active cultures in here as well. It is artificially sweetened, if that's a thing to you. That shit doesn't bother me. But there is, I think, yeah, they use sucralose to sweeten it. But 350 calories for 2 pounds of food that is going to stick to your ribs. Greek yogurt is very filling. High in protein. Not a low-calorie food. 0 calories. But probably has 5 times the calories of this not a low protein or not a low calorie food. This is all fat calories. No nutritional value at all for the most part. Fats are good, don't get me wrong. Good to have fats in your diet, but you're not getting any vitamins or anything from this. This, calcium, vitamin D, potassium, vitamin A, all exist within here. Again, active cultures, good for your insides, for your guts. 45 grams of protein for only 350 calories. For 2 pounds of food. Not a low-calorie food. What? This is ass backwards, okay? That's what I would change. If I were making changes and I could mandate the government change something, Uh, Food labels would have to be much more accurate. None of this, oh, if it's 5 calories per serving or less, you can call it 0 calories. When they're going to use those loopholes and call this 665 servings. No, you're not going to use 665 servings. That's another thing I would change. I would change the serving sizes on all the food labels to reflect more accurately, like actual serving sizes. Most people, if they're going to eat this, 2, maybe 3 times. All right. And you're going to wipe out the tub. I'm going to eat the whole thing at once. All right. So to call it 5 servings, most people aren't going to dip into this 5 times. Same with like a box of cereal. Like the serving size is so absurdly low on a box of cereal. I don't have a box of cereal handy. But it's so they can keep that number low, that calorie number low. But there's usually like, it's usually like 150 calories, and then there's like 10 or 11 servings in the box. But even if you're not like me, who's got a huge appetite, and I will eat the whole box at once. That's why I don't keep it here. Um, you're going to eat 3 to 4 to 5 servings of it in one clip, and that's not even going to fill up a bowl. So, they need to be more transparent, get rid of these loopholes, and just say what's in it. And then B, I would make or encourage, I guess it'd be hard to make, but encourage the serving sizes to be kind of standardized in the industry to reflect, what people are actually consuming and not these little minuscule serving sizes that we're given. So that's something I would for sure do, is look into changing that. The second thing on the docket, and again, I'm not huge into government stepping into things, but within the school system, I feel like there should be a mandatory class on nutrition, but not biased, like kind of in objective, not like promoted by Big Beef sponsoring it or vegans sponsoring it or any other foundation sponsoring it. Just an objective course on, these are the 3 macronutrients, these proteins, fats, carbohydrates. These are their primary functions. This is how many calories are in each of them. This is what a calorie is, the measure of energy that causes, what is it? Is it 1 liter of water to heat 1 degree? I'm probably quoting that one wrong. I need to go back and get educated myself. But that's what a calorie is. It's a unit of energy, or a unit of measurement to measure energy. But I would like to see that in school. Just the facts, just the basic facts on what these things are, what their functions are, what it does to your body. Not a course that goes on to suggest like you should eat this ratio of macros or anything like that. Not a course to suggest your diet should consist mainly of this, that, and the other. Just a course just saying, hey, these are macros, these are their functions, calories, what they do, and putting it out there so that people can be informed when they make these decisions in their own lives. They can at least know what those are. And maybe, these foods tend to contain these macros and these ratios. These foods contain these macros and these ratios, these. And just arming people with the knowledge. You don't have to point them in any direction. Just give them that basic knowledge and information, and hopefully they can make informed decisions as they go on in their life as adults. I'm not one to bash anybody for their own choices. I don't feel like that's why I'm not for the banning of these seed oils or anything, regardless of the fact that they haven't really been proven bad. And regardless of the fact that it takes a certain dosage of certain things before they are bad, but giving people this information so they can choose. And if more informed people make more informed decisions on their own, the market will fix itself. If people decide that, hey, I have this knowledge at my fingertips, it's ingrained in me now, and I'm going to make these decisions and stay away from this stuff, but lean into this stuff over here, you know, manufacturers, food companies, etc., will see that shift and, go in another direction. We've seen shifts. We've seen shifts go from, it was low fat back in like the 80s and 90s, and, cereals became really popular at one point. And then now it seems like it's trending more towards fats are good and carbs are bad. And, we've seen keto and Atkins and things like that. And that's all cyclical. Things will come and go. Like, the fucking carnivore dudes are the vegans of 10 to 15 years ago, thinking there's some kind of superior diet than everybody else and that this is the answer. And so those will come and go in cycles. But I just want people to be informed. And the more informed people can be, they can make those decisions on their own. And again, when you get a large mass of people making informed decisions, it's going to skew the market itself, and there's no need to ban things that are bad as these bad things over time. When people are more informed, they'll just stop selling. And, again, food companies and manufacturers will have to respond to that and, change their tactics and ingredients and protocols and whatever else may be the case. So there's my 2 cents. Thank you guys for listening. Peace!